We're gonna react to Chioma Onyekwere-Lyons being the first female Nigerian to ever win the discus at the Commonwealth Games, and we're gonna start right now. So over the last year, Chioma Onyekwere has been struggling with a whole bunch of different factors. She qualified for Tokyo Olympics. She went to Tokyo. She went into the village. She was there. She was training. She was in good shape, ready to drop bombs. And all of a sudden, the rug got pulled out from under her. Her federation, the Nigerian Athletics Federation, hadn't filed paperwork properly with about 14 different athletes. And so 14 athletes essentially had dreams and memories stolen from them. When you're working towards something so hard and you're so focused and you're balancing a full-time job as an engineer for Ford, and you're going and throwing early in the morning, you're lifting in the afternoon, and you're just dealing with all this different stress, and then to have that, when you have no control over that, that can lead to a lot more problems, a lot more issues. And that was the one thing that Cece had to navigate over this last year. Then throughout training, throughout the wintertime, she did a great job training, started to have a little bit of a back issue, okay? So she started to have a little bit of a back issue early March, that led into April. And then by May, she was starting to feel a little bit better. She was able to get back into training full time and started to really gear up for the World Championships. So we go to Eugene. She still didn't have a ton of throws under her belt, and she was a little bit erratic. She felt decent, like some days she would throw some big bombs, some days she wouldn't. But, you know, she went to Eugene, didn't perform at her best. When she was at the championships in Doha in 2019, she got 13th. This year she went to the World Championships in Eugene, and I think she got like 16th, something like that. Now, here's where it starts to get very interesting, is that Cece had about 2 weeks where she didn't really work. And she had to train in Eugene at the World Championships all the way until she went to the Commonwealth Games for about 2 weeks. And this is sort of why I'm pushing Cece to see if she could pull a sabbatical during the year of the Olympics. So anyway, as she's training, she looks, you know, she's starting to get in more form, she's starting to get better, she's starting to move a little bit cleaner. And then, you know, in practice and training, we're over in England, she looks really, really good. She's moving really well, she's hitting positions really well. And as we're looking at different things in the competition, I started to notice that looking at the start list, this is a starting group that Cece could come in and try and dominate. Cece could get in there and actually come out with a Commonwealth Games title. And I knew this was a long shot possibly, but knowing how strong she is, knowing her PR 63.30, knowing she's been competing at that world level, she's been to the Olympics, she's done everything, I thought she could do it. You know, I thought she could go out and drop some bombs. And so we were working with Obejiri Amici, the other Nigerian discus thrower who's from San Francisco. She went to Princeton, she trained here on site for a little bit. And so working with her and Cece, it started to get interesting, like, hey, these women could do some damage. And so, you know, the first two throws, Cece was a little bit erratic, but you could just feel, like third round, huge bomb that had a little bit of a foot foul. And then that started to lead into the fourth, fifth, and sixth round, where you could just feel the energy was changing. The stadium was phenomenal. The fans were going nuts. Everybody was just super into that event. You could just feel that intensity favoring Cece. And so I want to go over, you know, her winning throw, what that was like and what that experience was like, and what it means to her as an athlete with her career moving forward. So let's check this footage out. So winning throw right here. Boom. Nice save. And she knew that sort of right away. She turned, gave a little bit of fist bump there. I think her competitors knew it. She knew what was going on, right? And so that feeling as a coach, I want to go back and get the broadcast as well, because that feeling as a coach, you could just see as soon as she hit that front position and that little hop to the right side, you know, maybe wasn't the cleanest finish, but she got a hold of it. And when I saw it land, Alex Rose is sitting to my right. He and I sort of look at each other like, dude, it looked deep, like 62, 63 meters. We sort of had the feeling something was going on. So let's review this for the broadcast. I also think this might be the coolest discus throw ever videoed in the history of the sport. Boom. Let's just see, that just takes off well past 60 meters. There's Cece. Chioma. So she changed her name to Lyons, but still showed up on the bib as Onyekwere. So I'm gonna go back here and just go back, highlight this here. You know, she over-rotates a little bit. That's an old habit she's got. She over-rotates a hair. Right comes down though, and then she's great balance. That's from all that single leg squatting that we do. to save that finish. She's one of the most explosive females I've ever worked with. She's just a total machine. Great pull on it, great long arms, good feeling, super motivated, disciplined with, with her routine. And what's crazy is even on this finish, I think had she stayed down a little bit longer, her left side sort of blocks her off there, her hair. If that left leg came around a little bit more, I think that would have been even deeper. And so once that pops up, like what, 61.70, takes the lead by like 2 to 3 meters, and she's like, oh. Yeah, you can see her like right there. It's like, ooh. Fourth round, we got 2 more throws to go. Her opponents are there. I was amped, want to give her a big hug. And I think that's the whole thing that people don't understand is what it means, one, to win the Commonwealth Games. It's a huge deal. A lot of Americans, ironically, I'm wearing a USA shirt, but a lot of Americans can't relate to it because we don't have it. But it's an absolute huge deal for her. And it's her first international medal, right? So not only does she win the event, but it's essentially the Olympics for everybody that Great Britain had conquered over their reign as an empire. And for Cece to go out and beat all those countries, Jamaica's here, South Africa's here, Australia, New Zealand, a lot of really high-end throwers are there. It means a ton. And after what happened in Tokyo, for her to come back, dealing with all that, working through her stress that she had to deal with, getting married, doing all these really crazy life-changing events, and to win it, it puts her in a really good headspace, I think, heading into 2023. It puts her in a position where she's gonna have more confidence. And now I think as we move out of this with our training, we just got to do a better job staying on top of her with her mobility work. She's got to do, maybe a little bit better job with that. But there's so much growth that can come out of this. So I want to watch this throw one more time. Look at that. Look at that visual, though. Look at that visual. It's unbelievable. Boom. So I want to go back here because you can sort of see with her movement here. She sort of over rotates with that right. Just a little bit, a little floaty, and then that left blocks her off. So if that right came down a little bit sooner, left a little bit deeper, dude, this stroke might have been 63, 64. And I think that's the crazy part, moving out of 2022 with that Commonwealth Games title. I think she could go into 23 as a PR year. She's gonna have a PR year. And the big goal is making that world final now. We got to get into 23. We got to go to Hungary, and that whole goal is that we want to work towards that world final. Once we get into that world final, that's when I'm going to start pitching Cece hard to work and to try to get a sabbatical for Ford so that she can grind all of 2024 heading into the Olympics. So I think this is a great example in the world of throwing. If you can stay focused long term and you can have a vision and have a goal long term and you just keep working, you don't stop, okay? Years and years and years of work will lead to a title at an international competition, just like Cece brought home that gold in the Commonwealth Games. Until next time, guys, peace.